What up, family? We back at it again with another great episode of Kanes2Kicks. It's your boy E,
It's your boy Mario. Let's get it.
and we are back at it with another great episode. When I say we are excited about this episode, we are excited, man. Let's get straight to it. Brother, talk to me. I know you seen the emotion on Luca's face when he returned to Dallas. How did you What was your takes on the game? Do you think that it was a genuine, emotion? Do you think he could potentially go back and opt out of his contract this year to go back to Dallas? Like, how are you feeling? What do you think? And what you think about the game?
Well, truthfully, for the most part, it showed me that Luca still wanted to be in Dallas, bro. Like when he got to Dallas, he's driving his personal cars to the facility. He's hitting the facility, and he's like, I mean, he didn't. Luca didn't want to leave. Most big trades like that, right? The star wants to leave the organization, but Luca didn't want to leave, and you can tell that he was genuinely surprised that he got drafted. And so, to see him back there, you can see the emotions really just coming out and flowing. And I think he was just happy to be back home. But I think Dallas showed him so much love that, I think I'm sure he expected that, but I don't think he expected it, at that type of level because the tribute was actually really dope, man. And you got a young kid coming in there. That's who drafted him, and you think he's going to be there long term, and then he gets traded unexpectedly, right? So, dope experience. But I mean, let's talk about his play on the court. I mean, I think he dropped 45 points. He was scorching. I watched the first quarter and he was scorching. So, I think it was a lot for Luca, but man, I was actually happy to see that he didn't let his emotions stop him from being able to translate that type of performance on the court. So, dope experience, man. What'd you think? What was your thoughts on it?
I was shocked. The funny thing is, like, you're the one that hit me up and was like, "Bro, did you watch the game?" And I was like, "What game?" You know what I mean? And yeah, ESPN got the alert, but I really didn't watch it, so I had to kind of go back and watch the replay on YouTube TV. And man, it was again great tribute, from Dallas fans. But most importantly, man, just to be able to see the emotion on players' face. We always get the robot, that's on the court, and I don't mean that in a bad sense, but we always get the robot. We get the people that are going to do their job and then they're going. You know what I'm saying? They do their job, and then behind closed doors, they have their emotions because again, they go and they know that this is work. You know what I mean? So you typically don't see that those type of emotions on the court or before a game. We've seen stuff, with Klay Thompson, being just fans, cheering him on when he came back to Golden State. I was to the same thing when Anthony Davis was with, Los Angeles when he came back and he had his tribute. Um, but we didn't see any emotion like we did with Luca. Like
Yeah,
Luca is, like you even said earlier, like a young kid drafted. He's still a young kid.
yeah,
He's
he's young
still
still.
24, if I'm not mistaken. Like, bro, he's still a young kid
Yeah,
and still has 10 plus years left in the league if that's what he chooses to do so with just one team if he chooses. You know what I mean? If he chooses to stay with LA for 10 plus years, he has that ability to do that, where he could potentially get 2 to almost 3 maximum contracts before he's done. If we really want to be honest, you know what I mean? If he does a 4 year, 4 year, 4 year, and another 2 year at the end, bro can max out to have one of the biggest contracts that is out there in regards to revenue that he's earned. But I think for him to go out there, give them a 40, just a 40 piece, and for the fans to boo Nico, was just hilarious to me, man, because it's like you don't get to see that type of translation. Most of the translation that happens is it happens, and then the players have a subpar game. And again, that's not a judgment on their ability on the court, but again, just emotion get to you. You're drained a little bit even more, and then you go out there and you kind of stink it up. But that wasn't
yeah,
him, man. He was out there, showed out, was talking mess, and he enjoyed himself. And then I seen a clip. He actually ended up going to I think Dick's the next day, and ended up being an employee for a couple
I
hours,
seen that.
and was
Yeah,
selling his merchandise and stuff like that in Dallas. Like, bro, he still loved the city of Dallas. He still, he bought that with 10 plus $1 million home in Dallas. right before he got traded. Like, come on, bro. Like, he wanted to be there. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And you could tell just by the emotion, man. Like, and I think that's what brought fans in closer because we were like, man, we want the same thing. We want him to be happy. Like, we hope, LA as fans of the Lakers. We don't own the Lakers, but we are fans, and ultimately, we hope, Lucas stay. Because again, the trajectory of that, but we'll see. You know what I mean? Again, the Lakers are playing good, third seed right now, locked it up today. You know what I mean? And again, the third seed looks pretty well coming out of the West because of the
Yeah.
teams that because you could potentially be playing Houston. You could be playing other teams that would be good for LA to play in the first round. So again, brother, I think for me, it was huge just to be able to see that much of a professionalism, from
Yeah, no, for
but for
sure.
yourself. Go ahead.
No, I agree with you. And I think with Nico, man, like I don't think he's deserving of all the booing, right? Obviously, this is a business and it comes with big trades, unexpected trades, and things like that. I really just think he's a middleman in a big situation. I'm gonna be quite honest, right? Like, these guys study the trajectory of these players. Not all the time are they right, but they have their thumb on it for the most part, right? They know who's gonna bust. They know who's gonna, sometimes
Do
succeed, and then
they?
you,
I mean,
I
I mean,
think they
because
do for
Michael
the
went.
most part.
Because Michael went second, right? Went second in the
Mike
draft.
Michael
Michael
Jordan,
Jordan.
but
He didn't go to.
you got to think when he
I
came out
mean,
of college though. I mean, even from high school, right? He didn't make his varsity team. He made the JV, so second or
I
not,
mean,
he was still drafted.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying. I'm not. My projections. What I'm saying is, all teams don't necessarily know the right situation. You know
Yeah,
what I
no,
mean?
not to
And
the not to
their
the
personnel
yeah.
in the back scouting department sometimes are always wrong. And again, I'm not going to sit here and say that every franchise is done that, but we can look back at some franchises and say, like, y'all have messed up, you know, consistently for the last 40, 50 years of my life. You know what I mean? In this situation. But I mean, I get what you're saying. It shouldn't be on all Nico, but at the end of the day, it was all on Nico because Nico wanted to have a press conference talking about it, and he wanted to say it was my decision. You know what I mean? And saying it wasn't, Jason
Well,
Kidd's decision.
leaders take responsibility for things like that. You don't think the owners had anything to do with it. You just think it was like Nico was like came up with this bright idea to trade, this superstar coming off of a championship run, although they lost, and you think Nico was just like, you know what, man, babe, he's sleeping at night, like, hey, let's go to the office and talk about trading Luca. I think it was bigger than just Nico wanted to trade Luca.
I
I
mean, the
think it was
Lakers wanted to trade Anthony Davis. You know what I mean? Anthony Davis is still a
But Luca's younger. He's more global. When you talk about from a monetary gain at that point, like that's a no brainer at that point, right? So, um, Lakers Lakers weren't really
man.
looking for like they want the on the court performance, but in my opinion, Luca's global, bro. He's selling jerseys globally. Like Anthony Davis is a
Yeah,
big name too,
and the Lakers is a global brand.
a
So
global
again,
team. So
uh,
no
again,
brainer for them.
I mean, definitely. And again, I'm not sitting here saying that it wasn't enough for them, but I just think in regards to Nico, he does deserve 98% of the blame. Yes, you could say, the owners, yeah. And again, if you want to lead, you're gonna lead and take the ridicule that comes with it. Just like if a championship was made, you're gonna say that, you're the one that helped design this team. You know what I mean? And so again, you're gonna take credit for that. So ultimately, you got to take decisions. You got to take the credit for the decision that you made. Again, I think you can, as Dallas, as a Dallas fan, that's out there, you can't judge him right now because ultimately, how can you judge him right now when you haven't even seen your product on the court? Because
And that's all
again,
I'm
when
saying.
you know what I mean, the what 30 minutes that you guys did have the product on the court with Kyrie and AD, the pick and roll was going nasty that day.
It's just too premature. Yeah, it's too premature for the booing. It's too premature because a lot of those fans are going to be. I think they're going to be swallowing their words because AD's a baller, bro. So it ain't like they got some scrub. Like, and nobody in the NBA is a scrub, right? You talking about
Oh
cats
no,
who's getting drafted in like the 1%, 2% tile, right? So, but now you're talking about an Anthony Davis type caliber player. I mean, like I think that was a win-win trade. We don't know the backstory. Once you pull the curtains back and you really see what's going on, we have no idea, right? So
We
But
know
I
more
think
people knew than they say they did. I'm just gonna let's say that.
I think so.
Let's
I
say that.
think so too. I think so too. But I think the Mavericks is going to be a really good team once they get all their healthy pieces back, and we see
But
them
it's
next
gonna
year
take
fresh.
them. But it's not even next year though, because you think about it, Kyrie is gonna take a whole year to get back, and we talking about maybe the beginning of the season he'll be ready. You
No,
know what I
they're going to
mean?
be a
Or
better team next year, bro. Like they don't have time to wait. They're not like in no rebuild
I mean, I
stage. They're
get
going to
that.
be good
Again,
next year.
I'm with you in that. Like again, they don't have a young team; they got a veteran squad now. So
Yeah,
you
no,
gotta
they're
watch.
going to be good next year, bro.
Clay Thompson is not playing 82 games again. You know what I mean? Or as many games as he played, like he did this year. It's not gonna happen. But you look at the other pieces that they can be able to fill with veteran presence. Yes, then I can move forward. Uh, but yes, again, I agree with you, man. Um, let's switch topics a little bit.
Take it to
Um,
baseball.
let's take it to baseball. I don't think we talk about baseball too much on this pod,
We
but
haven't, not in
again,
a while though.
we, hey, we a fan of everybody. You know what I'm saying? We got Ken Griffey's up there. You know what I'm saying? Light work.
Real
You know what I
quick
mean?
though, before you get into what is San Francisco Giants doing right now?
Oh, we amazing out there, bro. We amazing out
Okay,
there. I mean, it's just got off a 2 game losing streak against Cincinnati Reds, but still balling.
okay,
And West, not mistaken, have a better record than the Dodgers.
okay. It
You
can't
know,
be by much. I'm sure. What is
hey,
it? One? If it's anything, it's probably it has to be one game,
at the end of the day,
if
that is
that.
what we have. You know what I mean? We just rep that. You know what I mean?
Well, we
Let me
count
just throw that out
championships
there.
over. We count
Hey, I mean,
championships.
you're right. We do too because we
So
had a dynasty. Clearly,
we
we
count
had.
championships.
Just, hey, you're right though. I'm just saying, but we had them. You know what I mean? We had a whole dynasty. But let's kick it to baseball, man. One of the things we're gonna talk about is the PE that has been going crazy, man. Manny Machado out there in San Diego with the
Manny.
Padres, man, went crazy. And his AJ3 PEs, man, looking nasty, man. What was your thoughts on them? How you feel, man? And like, what's your thoughts on just these baseball players, man, coming crazy? Mookie Betts,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Aaron Judge. The list goes on how many players have just been coming with PEs like crazy, man. But what was your thoughts on Manny Machado's, man?
Yeah.
And just your thoughts, sharing with the fans.
Yeah, no, I love it, bro. And I think we talked about this a few episodes ago that, just seeing the diversity within the Jordan brand, right? Not only are you seeing them in basketball, but you're seeing them in football. Then, now we're seeing them in baseball. And so, and to see like your Mannies and your Aaron Judges and your Mookie Betts rocking the PEs is dope too. And then, basketball has always been like the American sport, but now you adding like some flavor and some like basketball has always had like the flavor and the swag to it, but now you're starting to see the flavor and the swag to baseball, and I think that's good for the youngsters. Although you shouldn't get caught up in the brands and things like that, right? Make sure your game speaks for itself. But what Dion said: if you look good, you feel good, you play good. So I like the
Oh,
whole idea
may
about
well play good.
hey, you know what I'm
Come
saying?
on,
You're gonna make some good money. So
come
them
on now.
cats is they rocking them PEs, man, and I love it, bro. And Manny's one of my favorite baseball players too. I've been watching Manny for a very, very long time. So
Come
it's
on.
dope to see that, dude. What you think?
Man, I love it, man. Again, I love being able to see the creativity, especially when they have the player audition weekend where
For sure.
they can be able to, wear their charities, on their feet, whether that's, people that, are fighting for, kids with special needs or cancer. But you can see the designs on it, and it's just they go crazy with it. But I love the Jordan athletes, man, and because again, Derek Jeter being one of the first
Yep.
MLB athletes that was a Jordan athlete and the crazy kicks that he used to rock, the
The
special
Jeter 11s,
11, that's come on, man, like that were just out there. That was rare, his retirement 11s, that they gave him. Fantastic, bro. One of the best things that you can do. I think right now also a lot of people have been doing, and we kind of talked about this on the other episode, is a lot of people have been throwing Kobe's out there. I've seen people
mm-hmm.
with reverse Grinches. I've seen the Grinches that are out there. I've seen the blue Kobe's that were out there too by the other blue team in the Los Angeles area that was wearing them. Yes, I've seen them rock those, man. But it's just great to see that the my goal, I believe his legacy still continuing on in different avenues. I would love to see his cleats now being, done in soccer because he was a huge soccer fan. So I would
For
love to see,
sure.
athletes in soccer, especially how light they are, to be able to translate for soccer, man. So for me, man, I'm excited just how just the athletes, man, just rocking just more flavor for themselves so people can
Yeah.
identify who outside of just the big names like, the Aaron Judge, the Mookie Betts, where we can be able to see more players, kind of just doing their own thing. That younger generation, gravitating to them and, them wanting to be a part of that journey. So yeah, man, love that question, bro. But let's switch it over to our women's sports. We always gonna hit some on women's sports, man. And this goes to your team, that you had in the tournament. And, again, they lost. Again, I think Dawn Staley even said it herself in the her press conference. She said, we going in the transfer portal. Just to let y'all know, yeah, we about to go get somebody so we can be able to make sure that we're back here next year. But one of the big athletes that left from their squad that was coming off the bench was actually, if I'm not mistaken, they got six woman of the year the previous year was Malaysia for Wiley. She ended up basically entering the transfer portal. And a lot of people said that she would after that game, based upon, how Dawn kind of pulled her very quick. And she was doing that throughout the season when Malaysia just was not, I guess, playing South Carolina basketball. That's what I would say. Again, I don't necessarily know. Again, I don't have my
Was
sources
she a
like that.
starter? Was she a starter at
She,
any point
no,
or
she wasn't.
what?
Uh,
Okay.
to my knowledge, no, she wasn't. She was supposed to kind of step into that role this year. With last year being, her kind of come out year as a freshman, sophomore year, she was supposed to kind of step into that role, but never really matriculated. But it actually worked out for them because she worked that second unit and she ended up kind of being that vocal point. Like if you looked in the tournament, she actually ended up being like that Kickstarter for that group.
Right.
Sometimes they were down, she would kind of get in, be able to get 2 4 points to kind of get their ball rolling. So I think it is a huge transfer going to the transfer portal. But just because somebody goes in the transfer portal doesn't mean they stay in the transfer, if that
Right.
makes sense. You know what I mean? There could be some time, where she ends up going and she just doesn't like what's out there. And she could be in a point where she's like, no, I want to go back to Don and, I want to be able to kind of kind of rekindle what's going on. But whoever does pick her up, in the transfer portal, they got a huge athlete. Imagine her going to UCLA. You know what I mean? Imagine her going to, a UConn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine her going to one of these schools where she can end up being that vocal point like she wants to be. But ultimately, it's just from what I've heard, again, as Don said, like if you play right, it's basically the South Carolina way, you're going to get your man. If you
Yep.
don't, somebody else going to get your man. So,
Absolutely.
but what are your thoughts on it, brother?
Well, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about the portal, right? It sometimes can be a gift and a curse, and I do love the fact that like these athletes have the right to leave these institutions, right? They're not, contracted to these schools, and you know, the coach will tell you one thing and then they do another once you get to the institution. So we've always heard of that. We've always seen that, in the previous years of collegiate sports. But now that the players have the ability to move, kind of like, at the snap of a finger, if they don't like it, if they're not getting, the playing time they feel like they deserve, they can get in the portal and literally go to a different school. So but I'm wondering, is that messing with the character of the athlete, right? Because, back in the days, we're always taught like, you work through it, you continue to put in the work, you adapt to the system, and you earn playing time, right? You go out there and you figure out ways to earn it. And so, you listen to the coach, you see, you get extra time with the coach, you get extra time, watching film, you get extra time on the court, and you do whatever the coach needs, and whatever role the coach needs you to do, you adapt to it and you make it happen. But that's not the case anymore, man. These college athletes, they kind of have, I mean, like they kind of have control. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I like that because, back in the days, especially in football, right? College football, huge, right? They bring in so much revenue, and these coaches have the best athletes. They bring a ton of money to the schools, a ton of jersey sales, a ton of ticket sales, and they never make a dollar. I'd never liked that at all, right? And they deserve NIL, but for the athletes maybe who's just transferring just to transfer, right? Like I don't know how long that's gonna work out for you, right? So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it, and I'm happy they have the right to transfer at this point. But I just hope it's for the right reasons. I hope it's not, you're thinking the grass is greener on the other side. If you can work through the situation, then work through it, right? We all know Coach Dawn is an amazing coach. She knows the system. She
Sports
can
for
get you to
athletes
the
like no other.
pros. She can get you to the pros. It seems like there's a really good, player coach relationship. So, but sometimes you just don't fit with the system, and I get it. So, it's my feelings are a little mixed about that. But I hope the best for that young lady. But I did see they got a girl out the portal already, if I'm not mistaken. Is that
Yes, they
correct?
did. Tanaja Lawson, from
Okay.
Florida State. She was one of the highest scorers, in Division One last year. So again, they're adding another, somebody that's kind of replaced, Malaysia.
And she ain't waste no time too. I see, huh?
That's all. Yeah, that was literally I think 2 days after the national title game. So
Wow.
again, we gonna see, man. Again, I'm excited as always. This is we gonna always push women's sports on this podcast, and I
Yeah.
love being talk about them because again, that is something that is huge, man. And I think adding to what you said before we get off this topic, so many players, that think the grass is greener, and it's not. But there are those few individuals that do get that transfer to get that opportunity that they've always wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I think they said a couple of players that were on. Oh man, I forgot. It was something that NCAA said. It was four individuals that went to the transfer portal. They all were on separate teams and they all were in the final. I can't think of their names off the top of my head, but that lets you know the team that they originally were. It all didn't work when they all were on a team, but they went to somewhere where they were able to contribute, and now they're in the final four.
Wow.
Again, man, that is. I mean, you look at Masterpiece right now. He just transferred from where he's at to Ohio State. Like, bro, again, he knew what he was
He
doing.
left Houston already?
If I'm not mistaken, yes. No. Different son. He has a different son.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes. Different son. Not that
I'm
son.
like,
Different
hold
son.
on, bro. Like
No,
they were
no,
just
no.
in the
Different
national
son. Different son.
championship.
Different son. But yeah, he's at OSU. Again, man, congratulations to him, man, and continue on his journey. But since we are talking a little bit about the men's sport, let's go to the NBA. We've been hearing a lot of crazy things, throughout our years, from Shaq. And Shaq has said some crazy things. But as of late, he has had another crazy, thing that he said. And one of the things he was kind of talking about this generation of being soft. He said basically, if he went against Jokic, that would be Slovenian chicken. Again, it wouldn't be barbecue chicken, it would be Slovenian chicken. So he said, I'm eating them up. That's it. 1, 2, 3. He said he might be able to get me with the, step out and hit the threes out there. But he said I would have more twos than you would have any shots on at all.
He said that about
So
Wemby too.
he said I would hit. I would never. He said I'll hit Wemby in his chest first play with an elbow, and Wemby would not want to come down there again. I said, "Ooh, hey, you think about it." Kenyon Martin said on Gil's Arena. He said Shaq, to an extent, is very right. He said Shaq had a game plan. It was the team against Shaq. Shaq never had a one-on-one opponent. He made David Robinson, which everybody knew back in the day. David Robinson was, again, a military guy, very strong, had that adult strength. He said he made David Robinson look like a little kid down there, how he was tossing him around. So you think he could do that to him? And then you go to this athletic generation, because again, this is a very athletic generation. You don't think Shaq was gonna have some Slovenian chicken with a side of France barbecue sauce? Like, you don't think he gonna be able to do any of that? No, he gonna have all that, and then he
Yeah.
gonna call Rudy Gobert out there just because so he can have some dessert on the side. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he's gonna destroy. He can't stand Rudy Gobert for whatever reason. He
At,
cannot stand Rudy. I
at
don't
all.
know what it is, but he can't stand him. But there is some validity to that, though. You have to be honest, right? Like, imagine if Shaq got Wemby in the post, bro.
His chest would cave in.
He's going to destroy him. That is so funny to me because
How
Shaq
many
was a
times has Shaq dunked on somebody's head? Like,
dude,
boom.
and like he hang on it and shake it. Like Shaq was a man above boys, bro. So there is, I mean, like Shaq can say that because Shaq can back that up. And so I'm not mad at that. Like I'm really not mad at that because Shaq can back that up. Like, and people forget though, like Shaq will run a fast break lane, bro, and he'll get down the court. Like he wasn't like slow poking down the court. Like Shaq will get up and down the court, bro. So I
I
can
mean, I
dig
wasn't
that.
in front of him on nobody. You run it, go ahead, Shaq. Do your thing, brother.
Yeah.
I don't get
He
paid enough for
was
this.
Shaq was powerful, bro. He was powerful and he was brutal down there.
They said, has Wimby or Joker ever broke a backboard?
Heck
No, Shaq
no.
has done that.
Joker can barely get on that rim.
Joker, I promise you, has a game where you just be like, bro, like,
How?
how?
Why?
How do you
Why
have a
did that
triple
just
double?
go in?
Like, I look down and then I look up and it says you have 32 points,
Yeah.
12 rebounds, 11 assists, bro. How?
I'd be like,
It
how?
does not.
Like, who is
But
guarding
again,
him? Like, don't y'all watch film guarding this guy? Like, just move slow like he moved and just contest the shot, bro. I don't
come
know.
on,
He
man.
got a different type of skill. I don't know. I'm not in the NBA, so I don't know. But I
Go
feel
in.
you,
They
bro.
go in and make it look good.
It goes in, bro.
Make
So
it look good, brother.
I feel you on
Now
that.
let's switch over to the culture, man. Let's switch over to the culture, man. We had something that kind of funny went along on the weekend, man. We had other people's go. Michael Jeffrey Jordan. He ended up requesting not like us in the club. How do you feel about that? With
Well, dude, this is the
him
funny part.
requesting that.
Drake is a Jordan ambassador. Like he is sponsored by the Jordan brand, which makes it even more funnier, bro. Like the guy who just got into a crazy beef is one of your like not your athletes, but he's like one of the few rapper entertainers who has a Jordan sponsorship. So I thought that was funny, but that just tells me Kendrick Lamar is the goat right now of this era. That's all that it just tells me Kendrick Lamar is the goat, and Drake lost big time. I mean, like your boss, not I guess he's not your boss, but the guy who's funding your apparel, the Jordan brand.
Because he would be under he'll be under the Nike brand, but
Is he? Oh,
still,
he's
and it's
not with Jordan no more, huh? He has
no,
Nocta
he's not.
now.
But I mean, he's still under that umbrella of Nike, though. No matter what,
Yeah,
Jordan
he
is
has
still going.
Nocta.
I mean, I
He
just
has Nocta.
in that
Maybe Jordan
situation,
has some
but
feelings
still,
about that. Maybe Jordan has some feelings about that. Like you started this Nocta, you could have been rocking the PEs.
because
Hey,
he
hey
has some
DJ,
crazy key example.
DJ, let me get that now like us, please. Hey, that's wild.
Yo, Jordan was in the booth. He said, "Hey, can I get that not like us, bro?" And he
That's
requested it, bro. So
that's
again, for
wild.
the culture, I mean, I think the beef is done. I think Drake is gonna, try to do his little hits here and there. His album came out with Party Next Door. Wasn't anything. I mean, sales were there, but sales were not astronomical. There were sales. You know what I mean? They were cool. But ultimately, in regards to the hip hop, I just had an argument with somebody in a shoe store, and
What
I
was the
told him, I
argument?
said, the argument was he was a younger kid, and he was talking about Drake is better than Kendrick, and I was like, okay, if you're talking about a pop artist, yes, pop artist, hands down, yes, you are right. Drake is gonna come up with hits for pop art. He was like, no, but he came up with Future, this and that, but he also had a hook that was more pop. It's not a hip hop. It's not. You could say hip hop, but it's not rap. Kendrick will give you rap. He was like, well, Kendrick's never came up with a song like this, and it was like a slow song that Drake had, that all the females are gonna come out and dance to. Cool.
Yeah.
So then my man's threw on Luther. So he was like, you don't think no females will come to this? Luther's one of the number one hits that is out there on the Billboard chart. No, okay. He flipped it. Gloria, you don't think they'll come out to this one? Like at the end of the day, there's plenty of
Poetic
songs that Kendrick,
Justice.
but Poetic Justice, who's on that song?
Oh, Drake is on that song.
I said
That's
the same
right.
thing. I said,
That's
but
right. I
you know what I
forgot.
mean? But ultimately, again, look at the hook. The hook again goes back to what? More hip hop, not rap. It's just
Yeah.
more of, and I'm playing for something uh for the female crowd. Like Tupac told Biggie, he said, if you ever want to be able to make a hit, you make a song for the women, and your trajectory changes. It goes up. You look at some of the hits that Biggie has had. Sky's the limit. Sky's the
Mm-hmm.
limit was more of a not his rap song was more of a hip hop, more of a song where he can be able to get the crowds to go in it, families
Right,
joining
right,
in,
right,
etc.
right. Yeah.
But you know what I mean. Just to you know answer that and wrap this up. I think that definitely was a petty move by Jordan because Jordan knew people was gonna look at him, from
Oh
doing it.
yeah.
People are looking at the club. On top of that, that's what you plan? Yeah, no, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So he
funny.
definitely was letting them know you're not like us. So yeah, man, that's our culture, take. Um, and we got some good hits on this, man. So let's get ready to wrap this episode up. I'm gonna ask you, one question before we ask our big question. We got the what the Kobe's are dropping. You know what I mean? This is supposed to be one of your favorite shoes that's getting ready to drop that you haven't, got your fingertips on. But you about to. How are you feeling about it? And then as well, what is your favorite what the that has ever dropped? That- These Kobe's include.
But these Kobe's are dope. I like them. I like the fact that, well, I don't like the fact that they're so limited. I didn't realize that it was only like 30,000 pair of these made, and that's what
Did you get a pair?
huh?
But did you get a pair?
I mean, still, I want other people to eat too. Like, damn, I
I was
can't
just
just be stingy and I get
just
my
throwing that out
pair. And nobody else don't get a pair. So I want other people to get a pair too. But yeah, absolutely, I got a pair. So, but yeah, I definitely got my pair. But yeah, I like these ones a lot. I like the P Rod, the Paul Rodriguez, the skateboarder. I like his. I didn't get my hands on those. I like those, and I like what the Prestos. Those were super dope. What the Prestos were super dope. So there's a lot of good. What the type of category. I know Kevin. I don't even how do you usually say what the, but Kevin Durant has some dope.
Yep.
What the Kevin Durant's, I guess you should say. But I would say that these Kobe's are up there. The Prestos is up there, and the P Rods is probably up there. Those would be my top three for sure. For sure.
I definitely agree, hands down. I think my number one with the will probably be the Kobe. My next will probably be the Prestos, just for the comfortability. Um, the designs on them, I think they had a lightning on them as well. Um, they're again just different, and again that's what those are. Just a different type. Some of the what those have different materials on them. Some of them have patent leather, some have
Sure.
like just different type of materials, because that's why they're called the what those. Like, why do you have all these materials on there? What the, you know what I mean? And it's a good shoe, a good concept, especially how mostly all of those Jordan brands came together to be able
Yeah.
to come up with a concept. You know what I mean? You didn't just see, you know, uh, Kevin Durant just do it or Kobe just do it. You seen, again, Paul P Rod. You seen the Prestos. You seen
Yeah.
other dunks have done it. That the concept is there, and it's just a great concept.
Yeah, for
But for
sure.
me, I would say those are my top, at least my top two. Then my three would be a P Rod. Man, those are just an amazing shoe as well. Um,
Sure is.
Look, comfortability, amazing shoe, man. Okay,
Let's get to it.
as we wrap this up, let's
This is a
get to
good question.
my favorite question at the end because I think at the last time, man, we our last question of our last episode, we got a little could have
We
went
got
a
a
little
little
longer
heated.
on the question. And when I did the playback, I said, "Oh my gosh, we could have went this a little longer."
But that was a
But
good topic. That was a good topic. We're not gonna get on that, but that was actually a really good topic though.
let me ask you. And again, I'm gonna answer too, but I'm gonna ask you first because again, I want to know your answer. So I'm gonna put a picture on the screen for the folks to see at home, our family. Who are you choosing to stop Kobe for the last shot? Um, and again, some of the athletes that included, we went from, I think Dennis Rodman was one. You had Kawhi Leonard, that was another. You had Scottie Pippen, that was another. Um, you had Gary Payton, you had Michael
Yeah.
Jordan, you had D Wade, you had Ben Wallace, you had LeBron, you had Kevin Garnett, you had Draymond Green.
Did you say Kawhi Leonard
If
too?
you
They
had
had
one
Kawhi Leonard.
stop, yeah, yep, and Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
And I said Dennis Rodman as well. Um,
Hmm.
but if Kobe has the ball in his hand, Kobe the GOAT. I'll repeat, Kobe the GOAT had the
That
ball in his
goat.
hand, the GOAT. And you need to stop for your life. Who are you picking?
They're all dead. They're all gone. Nobody's stopping him. Funerals. We need 10 funerals, or how many players you name funerals. But truthfully, they should have had what was his name, man? The Kobe stopper who played for the
Bruce
Suns.
Bowen?
No,
Bruce,
Bell.
oh,
Last
Rajah Bell.
they should have had
Rajah
Rajah
Bell.
Bell and then the guy from San Antonio, Bruce or
Bruce Bowen.
Bruce
And then
Bowen.
also you could have had Patterson. I forget his name. First name. Patterson was a dude that played on the Blazers.
Sure, yeah, for
Mm.
sure, for sure, for sure. Those
Yes,
were
yes.
like the Kobe stoppers back in the day. But
And he still averaged 35. No.
truthfully, man, I think Kobe's that's the Mamba mentality. Nobody can stop me. Like he's in attack mode, right? That's the mentality of it. So it's hard to say that one of those players can stop Kobe in that moment where Kobe is excited to get the last shot. He's confident to get the last shot. And then he's like a little cockiness is in there too that Kobe knows, bro, he's going to make the shot. Regardless if he misses it, he's taking that shot like, yo, I'm finna make this shot and they finna feel it. So it's hard for me to say that any of these guys will stop him in that moment. I don't truthfully, bro, I don't even think Michael Jordan will stop him. I think the best who would have the best chance? Like if I had to give you an answer, I would say, and this is based off length and like tangibles, right? Like their size, their athleticism, their physique. I would say maybe Scottie Pippen or Kawhi Leonard. I think he will create too much space with like a Ben Wallace. Like he'll have him like on an island and he'll create way too much space. Draymond, he's not like he wouldn't have no chance trying to stop Kobe. Any big wouldn't have a chance because either he's going to blow by him or he's going to create enough space to to get his little fade away or whatever he's going to do. But I think who'll have the best shot, bro? Maybe Scottie Pippen, Kawhi Leonard, based off size, reach.
You're not
Maybe
gonna choose LeBron. You're not gonna choose LeBron.
I think he's going to create space on. I'm not
I mean,
choosing LeBron.
so okay. So my answer again, the reason why I wouldn't choose LeBron is because he showed you at All Star game that no, you're still not gonna guard. He
Yeah, I'm
showed
not.
you.
Yeah,
I mean, he showed you when they've had one on one. On Christmas games when LeBron played Kobe, not happening. Also, I'm not choosing Dwayne Wade too little. Again, not saying a fierce competitor, but again, Kobe was gonna get his shot off no matter what.
yeah. Gary
Not
Payton, he's
saying
going to post him
I'm not
up
too small. That's definitely. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was gonna be an easy. Oh, but Kobe's gonna make it happen, and he know that.
for sure,
Uh,
100%.
that's why the reason why he earned Kobe's respect. And you get respect from GP, which is one of the best defenders that has ever played, in the NBA. Then you know where you going. Any big Ben, I think if Draymond had another player with him and he was able to play a 2-on-2, yes, he probably could be able to have a good chance at it. But you're still not stopping it. But he would have a better chance than he would just as a 1-on-1.
Why do you say that?
Uh,
Why do you think? Why do you think? Why do you think that with Draymond? Because he have some
because I
help
think
or what?
he would have help, and for him, even if he got beat, he had somebody to again help him in that situation. I think he is in our generation. I think he's up there in regards to when we talk about Dennis Rodman as a defender. I think he's a great defender. Again, he showed you he's played against the 5, the 4s, the 3. He can switch off on the 1s and still be able to stay in front of them, which is rare for a big man to be able to do. But again, this is Kobe. We're talking about this is not, Chris Paul. This is not any of those other players. This is specifically Kobe Bryant. You're not doing it. Again, I
Mm-hmm.
respect Draymond again, but I know what Draymond can do, and Draymond is one of the most fierce competitors. And again, he reminds me of Dennis Rodman of our generation. Not saying that he's not. I'm not saying that he can't do it, but I just think ultimately you're going against Kobe Bryant. No, that's not.
Yeah.
MJ, no, I don't, because I think Kobe has that. Kobe got that. Oh, this is MJ. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you why I'm better. You know what I mean? I'm gonna show you why I'm taking the reins from you, and I'm gonna be the best player in the world. And then you talk about the two that I think that he would have a tough. I mean, KG, no, I don't. I can't see. I can see if this was a 1-on-1 and KG had the ball, KG against Kobe, then that's something different. But it's the other way around, Kobe against KG. You wearing green, Kobe don't like green. We know what's gonna happen. That's barbecue.
Yeah, he's going to blow by him.
Even though he should have been a Laker too. But that's a whole different story for a different, podcast as well. But the only two that I think, just in regards to the way they play, is Kawhi Leonard. You said this when you seen Kawhi Leonard literally play in person. Kawhi Leonard does not get as enough credit as he does
No,
with
he's
his
really
length,
good, bro.
the way the buckets that he pulls, the where he can be able to pick his spots on the court, uh, and be able to pick teams apart. Not too many people can do that. In
No,
regards
he's
to
good,
defense,
bro.
you have to be able to mentally be able to prepare for something with Kawhi because it is hard. But Kawhi also has that what? That Mamba mentality. He would go to Kobe's, in the offseason to be able to make sure that he got that game from him, to be able to break down, film, be able to break down, about certain tangibles to help with his defense. Again, he didn't just end up being this player. No, he had other people put that mentality into it. And then I would say Scotty, man, because anytime that you look at any of the Bulls championship, who did Scotty take? Scotty took the number one person.
Yeah.
Scotty had MJ on practice every single day. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit here and say he got, MJ's, number. That's not what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say definitely he was able to pick MJ
Well, yeah,
apart
for
and
sure.
say who he
Yep.
was, on that end. So again, I would say either kind of the same thing, Kawhi, or I would say, or I would say Scotty Pippen, just based upon it.
Yeah,
And I
no, for
think it would
sure.
just be great one on one. I wish we would have disagreed in this situation to be able to
Yeah.
bring more, but ultimately, I think it's an agreement in this situation because I think just the length that they have, the positions that they've played, they're always guarding the number one defender. I mean, the number one offensive option, and it's not a situation where they're playing the back burner. You know what I mean? Even when
Yeah.
Kawhi, Paul George, Kawhi still was guarding the number one person on that team. So same thing goes now, man. I think those would be the two that would give Kobe the most fits. But yeah, that's truthfully what I was saying.
Anybody outside of that list that you can think of that might give him a little a tough time? Like maybe today, a player
Truthfully,
today.
truthfully, I would go in his day. I would say truthfully, the person I would give him the most fit is KD on defense. And I would say only reason why I say that again, we talking about somebody with a 7'6" wingspan.
And who can move.
He move, and he
Yeah.
could. It's not a situation where you're gonna be able to, create space because he doesn't have the foot speed
Yeah.
of it. No, he still has the foot speed of it, and we've seen that when KD played with Golden State, how he was able to
Yeah.
amp his defense up, and become a great defender. With Draymond, leading the hall, but KD was back there being like the second best defender on that squad. You know what I'm saying?
And it comes with a
Um,
mentality too, though, if you think about it, right? Like not only the tangibles, what we can see, but it's the mentality, right? So we're also picking guys with just the I'm not scared, like I want to take on this challenge mentality, right? So if you don't even have that mentality, first off, that's where Kobe's going to get you at because we always talk about players who was most feared on the court, right? You talk about your Jordans, you talk about your Kobe's, and sometimes LeBron doesn't get enough credit in that area because we think players don't fear him, which I think players, not that they fear him, but I do think they have enough respect that it's not going to be an easy day when we play LeBron James. Because truthfully, we have to admit it. Like for these kids right now, growing up and these basketball heads, like LeBron is their GOAT. Like Kobe was our GOAT in the early
you
2000s.
think about it. They seen him in 8 finals, bro. 8 finals.
For sure.
I mean, at the end of the day, the whole Eastern Conference can't say they weren't afraid of,
No, they were,
of
bro.
LeBron because I mean, people will fold. Again, Indiana would always look good in there, and then all of a sudden, when they face LeBron, Toronto, same thing.
And
The list
Indiana
goes
had a good team, bro. They had
Danny
Paul
Granger, Paul George,
George.
like no, it
The
wasn't
the
Jamal Tinsley back
center,
in the day.
what's the center name?
Um,
The 7'2" center. He was good. Freak. What is his name?
Hibbert, Herbert,
Hibbett, bro. They had a really good the point guard. Oh my gosh, the light skinned guy. I can't think of his name.
it wasn't again. For me, now I'm thinking older. I'm like Jamal Tinsley.
But
I'm like,
but
no, John
but
Jamal Tinsley.
Danny Granger, Paul George, and the center was enough though, bro. That was a really good team.
And if people don't remember, before Danny Granger got hurt, Danny Granger was that guy.
Danny
Danny
Granger was
Granger was that guy before he got
yep,
hurt. I'm
yep,
putting that out there. But I mean,
yep.
as we wrap up, same question to you: do you see anybody that can give Kobe fits now, or maybe potentially that we didn't bring up?
Nope. Not right now. And I think that's what Shaq talks about right now. Like it's a mentality right now that we don't see that we've seen in previous years of the NBA, right? So I don't see the dog. I don't see just the and I don't want to demean him, but I don't see the animal no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, just that mentality. I don't see it. I think it was a little more raw. Um, 10 years ago. I mean, let's be honest, bro. Like, it was raw, bro. It was raw and uncut. Now, like, they dapping each other up, hugging and
Different.
handshakes, fist, jumping. Like, y'all doing too much, bro.
It's
What are we
different.
on
It's
right now?
true.
It's different.
Different.
So,
Yeah, you think about
Kobe
what Kobe.
wasn't going for none of that, dude. None of that. So
Hey,
Kobe would destroy this
Kobe,
year,
when Kobe came
this
back and seen
generation.
Shaq, what do you do? He gave him that little patty hug that out of my face, bro. We out.
You
We're
know
only
what I'm
doing this for the.
saying? So yeah, nah, I don't see nobody right now who will be able to check Kobe. And we never really see nobody check Kobe though. But I don't see nobody right now who will be able to check Kobe, bro.
And even if you did one game, don't get me wrong, Kobe has had bad games. But in that one game, Kobe found you 2, 3, 4 more games down the road and got back at
Oh, because he's gonna
you.
watch film and he's gonna watch every flaw.
Everything. And everything he did wrong, he's gonna make sure that he works on
Oh, he's gonna
leading up
counter
to
it.
the game.
He's gonna counter
Every
it.
game.
He
And he's
counter it.
gonna talk to you a different language on purpose.
So from a
What you gonna do?
mentality standpoint, nobody right now. And I ain't even talking about physical attributes. From a mentality standpoint, I don't see nobody right now who can even take on a Kobe, heck no, not nobody right now.
And it's so weird because I actually, and again, I'm gonna wrap up the episode, but if I could, I would have asked you about just Jordan as a defender. What was your thought? But we'll say that for a different episode. And that's again, family. Come back for the next episode because potentially we'll be able to
Yeah, we're
kind of
gonna have
talk
to talk
about
about that. Yeah, we have to talk about
because
that.
again, ultimately there's some type of misconstrued in that situation about Jordan being so high on the list of being a defender when you can talk about him not really being a great defender because he had another number one person that was
Yeah,
there, being able to take it. So again,
he has some great defenders on his team too, bro.
come on, bro. Like again, the list goes on of you can go all down the list. You know what I mean? Again, Dennis Rodman still be able to pick up somebody else. We're not gonna talk
I
about it. But
mean, yeah,
again,
he had some good
stay
defenders.
tuned to the next episode, y'all, because we will definitely be bringing this back up. And this
Yeah,
might not be the last, topic, but this will be one of the fun ones as well. But fam, as always, make sure you repost, man. We've seen a lot of people giving us some great feedback. This last week, man, we dropped 2 episodes for y'all. We hope y'all seen them. And we hope y'all just gave some love by that, man. Please comment. Um, I've heard a lot of people say, man, I didn't even know you dropped a new episode. Turn on the notifications, man. Turn on your notifications. Make sure you subscribe to either the podcast on Apple, Google, Spotify. We're on there. If you want to be able to
yep,
find us even more, go find us on there. If you want to be able to find us anywhere else, you can be able to do that, man. We're on YouTube. Or if you have if you see our stuff on there, remix it, download it, add some feedback to it, whatever you want to say to it, man. We're okay. If you want to add some feedback, DM us about how you feel. We're on all social media platforms at Kanes2Kicks. And again, if you see us on any social media that's from Twitter or X, IG, please make sure you're following us, man. Give us some comments as well. And again, soon over the summer, man, we got something big planned for y'all. So please stay tuned. And we just love, man, y'all feedback. But as always, Mario, leave us with some good advice, man, or some good things to say before we get out of this episode.
yes, sir. Like you said, comment, subscribe, like, and just join the comments, man. Share your takeaways and let's let us know how you feel about it. And I do want to hear, in today's generation, today's NBA, who do you think can stop Kobe? Who do you think will check Kobe by the slightest bit? So tune in, tap in with us, and let us know your thoughts. And we love y'all. We out.